Enter Senator Tim Scott, the presidential candidate, off a pretty well-praised debate performance this past week. Senator, always good to see you.
Thank you, Neil. It's always good to be back. Thanks for having me.
Maybe you wore the red tie today in honor, or not so honor, the markets. They're deep in the red right now. A lot of worry out there for investors. What do you tell them?
Well, there's a lot of consternation. The good news is we need to get this shutdown over with. Frankly, if it happens, one of the things that we should think about is a long-term implication for the next generation of Americans. The challenge that we're seeing today is that it seems like everybody wants to kick the can down the road and let someone else solve the problems. Real leadership requires us to do the things that are necessary today to make sure that the next generation is better off. As President of the United States, Neil, the one thing I would do, and I would think that this would help get a deal done in the House today, it is to finish the construction of the southern border. Having President Biden sell off the construction parts for pennies on the dollars creates consternation in the House. Not having the remain in Mexico policy exacerbates the situation. And then, frankly, seeing 6 million illegal crossings with more to come because of the elimination of Title 42, this president could show leadership by reinstating Title 42 because of the fentanyl crisis that's cost us 70,000 American lives.
But the government is on the verge.
I think we can get it done.
I'm sorry, sir. The government is on the verge of shutting down right now. Nikki Haley pointed to guys like you who've been in the Senate a while, the fact that it's happened where we haven't seen a budget, 4 times out of the last 40 years, and that you're part of that institution that created this sort of, frozen activity. What do you say?
Yeah. Well, I like Nikki. I wish she was the same kind of candidate as she was as a person, but now she's kind of flipped the tune a little bit. You really just can't trust her. She offered a tax increase to the South Carolinians, hundreds of millions of dollars of additional taxes for gas. Number 2, she had almost a 40% increase in spending while she was governor. Number 3, she's backing away on one of the fundamental issues, the issue of life. She will not join myself, and Ron DeSantis joined me on the debate stage for a 15-week national limit on saving life. She won't do that. So having her talk about topics is something that is interesting.
Senator,
but it's
because
so
you didn't go at each other like you did in this latest debate. I'm wondering, you're 2 South Carolinians, and maybe that, and you wanted to clarify the one surviving South Carolina. I don't know what it is, but it was there for the world to see. Do you think you overdid it? Do you think she overdid it?
Well, I'll just quote the great philosopher John Rambo. She drew first blood. I did not do that. She did. She started off by making it personal. I, frankly, did not have a negative comment about her until I was responding to what she said. But it is a target-rich environment, and I'm happy to have a contrast about my record versus her record.
Donald Trump, of course, didn't show up for the debate. He's running away with this thing in the polls, Senator, and you reminded me they're only polls. But he's questioning the need for another debate. A lot of other people are as well. What do you think?
Well, the debate stage is where we have an opportunity to lay out our vision for our future in this nation. The debate stage is a place where, just this last debate, I asked a question about the 15-week limit. Ron changed his position. He said he would now support a 15-week limit. That's, frankly, a good position to take. I wish we had more candidates. Vivek and Nikki, please join the 15-week limit. Let's stop radical states like California, Illinois, and New York
don't go to
from
smaller
having
or more
abortion
limited.
on demand.
No, I want to be clear. You don't believe it should be at 6 weeks or any smaller period, that to go around that 15-week period was the wise route.
Yeah, so the states have the opportunity to preserve life at a lower level. Nationally, we should have a 15-week limit to stop the radical states from having abortion up until the day of birth.
Right now, with the passing of Senator Dianne Feinstein, a lot of people are wondering not only who will replace her, but for now, she was herself an institution, and she harkened back to a time where both sides could kind of work with each other. Do you fear those days are gone?
Those days are harder than they used to be, but I will say that one of the things I've done, I was signed as President of the United States, I would take my fentanyl bill that would freeze the assets and sanction the accounts of the Mexican cartels as step one is to deny them the oxygen they need to breathe, which is also known as money. My bill that I wrote earlier this year passed through the Banking Committee in the Senate, 23-0 of the Banking Committee. You can get things done by focusing on the American people and not red and blue. That is what we need in this country.
All right. Have a safe weekend, Senator. Always good catching up with you. Senator Tim Scott, candidate for President of the United States. All right. We're all over these fast-moving developments. Tomorrow, live at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we'll give you the latest on the shutdown, how close we are. Can we